It's time we sit down and have a conversation. All right, let's address how my team has been so far a couple weeks into the game. My team heads, we got to talk about some shit, man. I'm really emotional about this. It's been on my mind for a while. I really didn't even know if I wanted to like make a video on this, but I really do feel strongly about this, man. It's messing with my spirit, as Kanye would say. You know, it's just hurting my soul. This shit right here, Domination, man. Domination was like, nobody liked to do it. I was one of the first people who did videos like trying to finish Domination for the packs. But it was just a great way to start your team. If you were starting my team, it was just a great way to start your team. You'd get players out to the packs. You could get like a Westbrook out of the pack. And then you'd get hella MT and then a good reward player. This year, like starting from the top, right? When I started Domination and I saw that our reward was Amethyst Mark Eaton, I immediately thought back to the last time I saw him, which was like 2K15. I think I tore my 2K ACL that game. Like he got this game-winning block or something that like led to a John Wall 3-point. It hurts my soul. It's a really hurtful video to watch back. But that's the last time I saw him, because he's that like irrelevant of a card. Real shit, bro. Nobody wants a Mark Eaton. Like, I just think this was a really underwhelming card to start with. And then I moved on and got to this bullshit right here. Fantasy Domination. And when I read about this, I thought it was like the coolest concept, like the types of teams that you'd be playing. I thought it was creative, innovative. I fucked with it. And then I started playing them. And I haven't been that emotional about a game since like Call of Duty. Like a couple of times, good number of times, I was like, you know, when you just squeeze in the controller and you pause the game and you kind of feel like crying because it's like you're trying your best, but that computer is just like not having your shit, bro. They're still making everything with your hand in their face, and you mad because you can't do nothing. Like, it's the computer. You can't. If it's another player, like, you're gonna start missing eventually because, you know, fucking algorithm, momentum, whatever you want to call it. But the CPU, that shit don't affect them. They will keep fucking you up, man. The computer in Fantasy Dom was long stroking my shit, bro. And that's part of what made me so emotional to want to talk about this, because at that point when you're facing these teams, like get a look at some of these teams, right? Look at who's on these teams. Like in historic Domination, the team overall isn't that good. You're facing full on god squads. And if you've never faced Tony Parker as a CPU, you don't know what a point guard is, bro. This nigga will cook you up. Just in general, what I'm trying to say is these teams that they want you to beat in Fantasy Domination are so much harder than it would be to beat teams in Historic Domination, because they're giving you the best versions of players. Look, like this one especially. This Suns one of the MVPs, my nigga, look at the starting lineup. There is... How you expect me to take that on with like a half ruby, half amethyst team? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just did not really fuck with that, man. They made it so much more difficult. And like I said, the cheese is always on the CPU side, you know? So not only is it hard to beat them because they're 99 overalls, but they have the CPU cheese on their side. That shit is... It's not fun. It is not fun, man. And Domination never used to be that difficult. There were multiple points where I was enticed to go buy VC and open packs, if not to pull somebody good, but just to get MT to increase or make my team better, just so I could keep up. So, you know, I didn't really fuck with that. I think that was a little bit... I see the marketing, but it's cool. I understand how it'd be like that, man. That's what you gotta do. Because I did end up buying VC, so they got me. You know, what can I say? They got me. By the end of Fantasy Domination, it's not that I wouldn't even not be able to beat the teams. It's just that the games would probably be too close, and I don't get enough points for blowing them out completely. Or it's not close, but I'll miss, like... I'll not get the free throw called. You know, I have to get the 10 free throws, and then that will be the reason that I don't get the points, and I have to do it all over again. For how far you should be as far as a team goes, that's just unrealistic to expect you to be able to do that without spending any money whatsoever. I mean, I'm sure people have, but like, that's tough, because I couldn't. And then looking on to the reward for Fantasy Domination, I'm a big Knicks fan. Hashtag Knicks tape. Shout out, you know, Kevin Knox. He's gonna be the third player ever to win MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same year this year. Bernard King, fucking legend. To go through what I had to go through, he would not have been my first choice, you know, of person that I would want. He can't really shoot threes. You're going through a lot of cheese for this. I mean, to be fair, I do run him at point guard, because that's how you gotta cheese with him, bro. You gotta run him at point guard. He is a menace at that position. But that's the only way I feel like this card is effective. At the small forward, he wouldn't be that good for me, being that he can't really shoot. I mean, he's a great finisher, but sometimes you just don't get the foul calls. And then finally, looking at all-time domination, if y'all didn't know who this was before, this man is just most famous for being, he wanted to throw fisticuffs with Chocolate Thunder, RIP. He was the nigga that wanted to throw fisticuffs with Chocolate Thunder. That's the only reason I know who he is. It was just a really obscure pick. Let's just call it that. It was an obscure choice of player to give as our final reward for over like 40 hours of, you know, grinding this game. I don't have motivation to get this card. And that's another point that I think is valid to make. These rewards they're not diverse anymore. That was one of the favorite things. One of the things I've grown to love about Domination is the rewards. You remember in 2K17, somebody could pick like Sean Marion, who was a menacing ass card. I'd be scared to like have him guard me. And then other people would pick like Steve Francis, who would dunk on your whole team and you could hit 5 threes in a row. Like, it was just a lot more choice, and I really fucked with that about Domination as it evolved. Now there's none of that. Everybody gets the same card, and the card isn't even like sexy. Like, who really wants all 3 of these players that they gave us? On average, a game lasts maybe 30 minutes, right? So let's say one Domination takes like 16 to 18 hours to finish, assuming you do not even lose a game, like you don't fail one of them. So multiply that times 3. Domination, you have to have a serious amount of time to commit to it already, and then it just became less rewarding as far as what you're putting in as far as time commitment. In my opinion, a really good idea would have been to allow us to pick one person from the reward market. So for finishing Domination, you get a pick of the Amethyst board, Fantasy, you get a pick of the Diamond board, and then Pink Diamond for all-time Domination. I think that would have been completely fair. You get a choice. It would have made things simpler. It would have made things cleaner. I see why Domination is the way it is. I won't knock it completely. I understand that Domination this year was probably designed for reward tokens. You know, the bulk of your reward from Domination will not be the players, but it will be the reward tokens. And although I see it, I don't understand why it couldn't just be the way it was before, but just throw the reward tokens in as just a bonus. Don't change anything about it, because in the past, I feel like Domination was designed as a way to earn players and earn MT and earn a really good player in the process of doing all of that to build your team. Instead, now this year, it's built around earning reward tokens, not necessarily building your team, because the best player you can get out of all of these packs from Domination are gold. They don't even let you pull a ruby or up player. You don't even have a chance to pull Steph if you go beat the Warriors. Like, that's really underwhelming in my opinion. So I probably still will at some point. Like, I know I'm talking all this shit, but at some point I probably will go play all-time Domination, because these tokens are going to be worth it, I'm pretty sure, when they start adding players to the token market. But just Fantasy Dom wore me out, man. I didn't like, maybe this should have been last. I don't know. Maybe all-time Domination is easier. But they just rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm not even done with it yet, man. So let me know how y'all feel. I had to break from this game for a solid like 5 days and just play Spider-Man just to lower my blood pressure, man. I needed to be a superhero. I'm gonna go back on Spider-Man now.
Block the number, guarantee she gon' call again. Hands always turn around when we walking in. Money coming, I can ball like a tournament. I ain't got it, if you need it, I'll order it. This designer shit I wasn't affording. They public housing with them cameras recording shit. I don't give a fuck as long as my daughter